Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. Everything here is beautiful. It's going to be like 75 today. And we have a game tonight, and it's going to be nice and not freezing. Lovely. And I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to I think it's in there. I have a few little action cams. I'll take one of them and we'll attempt to do something with it this week. Hopefully you'll get excited about that. Anyway, so there's a topic that I want to discuss because, well, I guess you saw the title. I've been aware of this since I was a kid, that as we age, time compresses, and I've known that because my father told me about it when I was younger. I can remember being a small child and saying, complaining about how slow the day is when I'm at school. It takes so long. And my dad was like, wait till you're my age. Time's just going to fly by. And for the most part, that's true. I have found that, since my 30s or so, I've recognized the fact that time is really quickly moving. And most of us, if going by my channel analytics, most of you watching this are over 30, so I feel like we're all in the same boat. But I will tell you that something that I've recognized lately is not, I didn't expect, right? So I expected the time dilation or time compression, and people say that it's because once you're older you get into a routine. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, school was the worst, and that's the most routine time of my life ever, was going to school every day for 12 or 13 years. And doing the same classes every day, the same people, the same teachers. Like, that was the most routine time of my life, but it was also the time where it just creeped on by. Some people say it's because at that time, when you're 10, say, a year is a tenth of your life. Whereas now at 40, a year is like a fraction of I don't know. I don't know how to do the numbers. A quarter of a year of my, I don't know. Anyway, a year is not significant as a 40-year-old. 44. I'm 44 now. And that's true. And so that maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's just the fact that I've been alive longer means that those shorter periods of time are less significant to me. That's kind of like saying, I remember people saying that if you found $1 on the street, Bill Gates would have to find like $50,000 for it to be the equivalent or whatever. That was long ago. I'm sure it's different now. Not the point. The point is, the thing that I have recognized in myself now is my lack of being impressed by time. Meaning, when I hear somebody now say, I've been doing this for 10 years, I go, that's not very long. That's my reaction, is like, only 10 years? Like, that, you barely know what you're doing. Whereas in my teens and 20s, if you'd said, man, I've been doing this for 10 years, I'd think you were an expert. Well, you're obviously an expert. You've been doing this for 10 years. There's things I've been doing for 10 years, we talk about on this channel a lot. We talk about woodworking, we talk about making. I've been making things out of wood since I was a toddler. Literally like a tiny child. So I've been building stuff my entire life. I've been writing software since I was at least 10. I tell people 8. 8 is true, but really like 10 is when I started developing my own software. So 34 years now. So I've been building stuff for, let's say 30 years. I've been building stuff for 30 years. I've been writing software for 30 years. I'm not an expert at either of those things. I'm barely functional, When I build stuff and when I do software, it's to solve a problem, or it's to fulfill a curiosity. It's not to have a product that I can put on a pedestal and say, here's my thing. I'm an expert at this. And so that time means nothing. I could tell you I've been a woodworker for 30 years, and that's an honest truth. I have been woodworking for at least 30 years. It's probably closer to 35, right? Since I was a little child. But I wouldn't even remotely claim to be proficient at any part of it. I can't even cut wood correctly. You know what I mean? Like, and so when somebody says I have 10 years of experience, I go, that's not very much. Where, and that was the part I wasn't expecting to come with age. Is the I don't know what would impress me now. If somebody said I've been doing this same job for 20 years, I'd go, well, that's quite some effort. You know that you put some time in on that. If I had stayed with the military for 20 years, I would be retired already from the military and making a paycheck and then having another job. That would have that was unimaginable at 18. I've been with my current employer now for 5 years, and that just like really, I've been here 5 years, and I'm not even beginning to claim that that's an impressive amount of time. Like it's actually not. And I guess that's the part of the whole time compression or whatever, our perception of time that I wasn't expecting. Just how much I'm not impressed by other people's claims. Now, that being said, like I said earlier, it's like for woodworking and programming, my two main identities, I have never sought to achieve some level of, I've never really strove for competency in those two things. I strove for results. I strove for, I have an idea for a piece of software. Here's a piece of software, right? I want to build a tool holder. Here's a tool holder. Is it done correctly or whatever? I don't know. It works, and that's good enough for me, and I'll just move on with my life. I'm not the person that sits down with the JavaScript course and really meticulously studies how to write good, clean software. I'm not someone who's going to spend hours down here cutting, mock dovetails and building little boxes that I don't need or want just for the practice. That's never been me. I'm terrible at practicing. And so that's part of the reason why I will never claim to be competent at anything that I do, because I'm not willing to put forth the effort to be competent. But that also means that I color other people with my shortcomings, because there are people who have spent way less time than me. There are people who have only been programming for a few years, but they've given it everything they possibly have, and they are way better than I'll ever be. And I recognize their effort. Like, it's the effort that I recognize, not the time. So I guess maybe that's where I should have. See, I took notes, but like always, I didn't take great notes. And it's I guess the point is that I think the effort is a way more valuable marker of expertise or experience than time. Because saying that I've been woodworking for 30 years, while that's true, there have been extremely long portions, years, where I haven't made anything out of wood. I haven't made anything down here in weeks. So is it really fair to say I've been doing it for 30 years? I don't know. We've had that discussion before with people who claim they do a thing when they've done it a couple of times, and that's always bothered me. Like, I feel okay saying I'm a woodworker because I have consistently done it for most of my life, but that consistency isn't. I don't identify as I'm a woodworker and it's all I do. It's not even close, right? I'm a woodworker. I can sometimes make things out of wood when I have inspiration. But the results that I would show you, if you remember, go back to the dovetail, the results it was obvious I would have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to throw this thing together. I did these terrible dovetails. This kind of was my learning experience. This kind of was I've done dovetails before. I've never done these half-lap dovetails. Let's give it a shot on pine. It's hard to do, whatever. The results, this doesn't say I've been woodworking for 30 years. This says I've been woodworking for 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting to be critical like that, or to be skeptical. I think that's the word. Saying that I've been at my job for 20 years, okay, I guess that's still kind of impressive to me. That'd be half of my life. But to say I've been doing this for 5 years, and Like that doesn't make you anything. It just makes you a little less of a beginner, I guess. Or that's all you've done for the last 5 years and you're a master, and I will never achieve that level. Heck. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know. These recent videos just don't even seem to have a point. I need to, like, refocus somehow. Taking the camera tonight. In fact, let's get it down. It's right here. Taking this with me. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is quibble. It is a noun meaning to argue over a minor matter, to voice a niggling objection. If you are not 100% satisfied, your money will promptly be refunded without question or quibble. Quibble, Q-U-I-B-B-L-E. I read that very quickly and just went for it. But that British word, man, it makes me uneasy when I hear it. Not the word, the word in that sentence, if you go back and